Listen, in our next segment, we're going to play some over-under. We're going to go inside the numbers in this series, and we were joking beforehand. We said, Chris, this is how it's going to work. We're going to put a number up, and it's going to be over-under. So, for instance, 3, the number of times you yell at us today. And
Chris being our esteemed producer.
Yeah, we're already at 2. We're easily at 2, maybe a potential of 3.
I would definitely have taken the over on that one.
Yes, absolutely. Ryan Holt, Kevin Bartle, this is Condors Unleashed. Thanks for taking your lunch hour, spending it with us. And, man, to my right, Condors head coach Troy Mann. And, Coach, through round 1, I mean, is there any sense of, relief after getting through round 1 and now on to Stockton? Or is it, back to work here and we're ready to go?
Well, I think it's back to work. And, you always take a couple of days. It was nice to end it Friday, so guys got to take, at least 2 days off. It was actually almost 2.5 days to kind of enjoy the moment and then get back to work. So we've been working on, the second round here for 2 days now, and we'll wrap it up tomorrow, and we'll see what happens starting Friday.
It was 1-goal games, obviously, and it was very tight for the first 4 games of the series, and I kind of had a feeling before the game, and we were talking about it, and I said, you know what, either Utah's going to beat us and we're going back, or this one's not going to be close. And it ended up not being close. I kind of just felt like after you guys got the 2-0 lead, like they just started to feel like, not again, like we don't have the energy for this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we knew they were going to make a push there in that first period, and, that's why I don't truly believe in momentum changes from game to game, because I thought they were the better team in that first period, and, we had that big emotional overtime win the night before, and I felt that they would probably be the better team in that first period, and they were, and because their lives were on, they were going to be eliminated at stake, so to speak. So, but LB was there, and we came out of it 0-0, which I thought was a win for us, to be honest with you. And we played our best second period of the series, which was probably an Achilles heel over the course of the 5-game series.
Yeah, for sure.
When you look at this entire roster, I mean, you have a lot of guys that have to fill certain roles, and it just seemed like at different points of that series, everyone contributed in their own way, whether it's Andrew Carroll chipping in on the forecheck, on the PK, whether it's getting a power play goal out of Canucks, that everyone did something in this series to make themselves look good and make this team successful.
No, absolutely. And, we talk about a different hero every night in the playoffs, and I think we had that over the course of the 5 series. I think Andrew Carroll had an excellent series and showed why he was brought in here in the first place. He's a playoff performer. Will he get 5 points in the next series? Maybe not. It'll be maybe someone else's turn, so to speak, to lead us offensively. And, the good news is the Steffes line with Little and Carroll was exceptional in that series overall. And I still think there's some guys overall that can give us more. And hopefully a different opponent, different type of series will lead to that.
It's definitely going to be a different type of series. I mean, this is a different type of team you're going up against.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Utah. We knew that they were going to be very similar to us, stingy defensively, well-structured, good goaltending, and I think that LB outplayed their tandem, which is always a key in playoff hockey. And nothing will change in that department in round 2. LB will have to outplay Foster for us to move on. But it is a different type of series because they are such a skilled team and got tremendous speed. Overall they have better speed than Utah, and they're much better off the rush. So they will make you pay with turnovers and any odd man rushes or attacks. They will make you pay probably more than Utah will.
We always talk about Stockton, and certainly early in the season, it was about the offense. We know that they have a lot of firepower up front, but more recently, they've added a lot of guys on that blue line that have made them better defensively and really meaner and nastier. We were talking about it in our last segment. They're nasty back there on the blue line. They got some tough characters back there in the back 6.
Yeah, no, we've watched 2 of the games against Ontario, and we've also watched our last game, and it was real nice to, Utah we hadn't seen since February 1st, so you really had to, even though I kind of knew how they were going to play, you still had to kind of do your research, where Stockton, we just played them recently with pretty much their lineup. I mean, there may be the odd change, but overall, the team that we're going to see Friday night, we basically played there the second and last week of the season when 6th place was on the line. So, we've dissected them. We kind of know where they're at. But you're right. They are better defensively. They are meaner back there. We talked this morning at length on the areas that we need to exploit to be successful in this series.
LB gets 2 shutouts in that last series, and I think his second one kind of lost in the 5 goals that were scored. But as you said, very important that he played early on and in that game and shut him down in the first period. But that was the story for him every game. Getting the first goal of the game isn't all about the offense getting their first goal of the game, because it didn't always come in the first shift or even the first period. But he made the key saves early in those games that allowed his team to get that first goal.
Yeah, no doubt. And, I thought the series was interesting because, for the most part, the first period, we were the team that dominated the first periods. And then I thought they were the team that really took over in the second. And then, for the most part, over the course of the series, the third period was kind of split, where they kind of maybe, had the momentum the early first 8-9 minutes, and then we took over the game. So the dynamics of the series, especially in that first 4 games, that's how it played out. And LB was certainly there to make those saves to maybe keep it 0-0 in game 1, for example, where I thought we came out great. They had their push in the second, and then we get that 1-0 lead with 5 minutes into that game 1. But LB had made the key saves, as you say, at those moments. To keep it 0-0, and he did that throughout the 5 games.
He hasn't been through a professional playoff run, but how much of a factor is it that with the Edmonton Oil Kings back in Major Junior, he went through a lengthy run a couple of times with the Oil Kings, albeit not professional, but same playoff structure, 7-game series, and let's be honest, even longer than an ECHL playoffs run.
Yeah, no, I think it's real key, and I heard LB's interview after we beat Utah with him talking about, it's really important when you go through these 7-game series that early, if you can end this series, let's end it, because if you are going to make any kind of run, rest is going to be real important. And if you look at our travel schedule based on winning it Friday and not winning it, and then potentially opening up Friday, that's a huge difference. Huge difference. And that's why I think he was right. And so to do it in 5 and get that proper rest is going to be good for us Friday night.
You ever pull your goalie with 11.5 minutes left to go in a hockey game?
No, and I thought that that was interesting that he did that, and I think that we're seeing that in the Colorado series. Patrick Waz has become famous now all of a sudden with the pulling early, and it certainly makes sense to do it. And I looked up with 9.5 left, and it was 4-0, and but you never know, right? Columbus almost did it to come back, and they get one, and that's why at 3-0 I was still not, from a coaching perspective, thinking this series was over, because one goal can change the momentum swing pretty easy. And but I did feel confident when Steffes put it in at 4-0.
Now, you had the weekend off. You got to watch some NHL hockey. Were you giving your boy Bruce Boudreau any tips there for coming back late in a hockey game and then winning it in overtime? They had a big comeback there against Dallas.
No, there was no advice there. I think he has a lot more years and experience on me. But I was on the edge of my seat thinking, here we go, another Game 7 for Bruce. And I was real happy for him and Woody to be able to get that series done in 6, because their record overall here since they both went to the NHL together is impeccable, and there has been some flack over the years with the playoff exits in the first round. So it's nice to see them get on to the second round, and hopefully it's going to be a heck of a battle versus LA or San Jose in that California battle here to go to the conference finals.
Is that unfair? You see a similar situation up in San Jose year after year. They're good in the regular season and they bomb out in the playoffs. Is it fair to turn the spotlight on the coach like that? How much does a coach going to have an impact on his entire team, maybe, just laying down in the playoffs?
Well, I think it's truly unfair, and it's part of the business. But unfortunately, the biggest thing is the parity in all the leagues. I mean, even the ECHL. For me in the Western Conference, no disrespect to Vegas, but I felt going in the playoffs out west here that they were the only team that really didn't have a chance to come out. And look out east right now. The top 4 seeds are gone, so there's just so much parity. And the NHL is the same. Anaheim last year played a Detroit team. Well, that's a pretty good hockey team, and it's just the NHL is the same thing. It's just a matter of getting in nowadays because of the parity. And when it comes to the American League as well, Providence, who finished 8th, I believe, or 7th, has Springfield on the ropes right now as well. So just you never know what can happen. And the coaches do a great job. And I can't speak for other NHL coaches that I'm not familiar with, but I know there's nobody that prepares more than Bruce Boudreau. So his teams are 100% well prepared and ready to go in the playoffs. And it's just sometimes that you don't get the bounces in those 7-game series. And I would say they were fortunate that they did get the bounces in the Dallas series, and they moved on.
I saw a stat the other day. There's only 7 teams that have their head coach that they had beginning the season 3 years ago. Like, I mean, 7 out of 30. One of them is the Islanders too, which is remarkable.
It shows the impatience that people have. They want to see playoff results, and you can finish first overall 3 years in a row, but if you don't get out of the first or second round, go bye-bye.
Now, we started round 1 with a nice team meal. We got a nice team meal tonight. What'd you go with, Coach? What's on the menu?
I went because of my temple, and we're still keeping fit. I'm going with the fish tonight.
The fish?
Yeah, Murph's recommendation. He's had it twice there, and
what kind of fish?
It's the Dover sole.
The sole.
What are you going with?
I'm not attending.
He's bailing out.
He's bailing out.
I did, however, once.
He's got a wife and a kid. He's got to watch.
I once had the thresher shark at the Mark, and it was unbelievable. It was a special. I don't know if they got it.
Who don't plan on working on the beach body for quite some time because we're going to have no time. I mean, we have no time to go to the beach until at least July.
Right.
At least July with a long run. I went with the steak.
As most players did.
Yes, I mean, it was overwhelming.
The players, however, burn 2,000 calories every morning.
Right. And the
I
players,
do that in the first round of overtime.
And whenever
don't go to any more overtimes. I burn the calories.
And whenever the players do see a free meal, they usually, whatever the options are, they usually go for the most expensive thing because someone else is paying. So the steaks usually end up being the most expensive. Not to say it's going to be better than Murph's Dover sole.
I mean, you're putting a lot of trust in your assistant coach here.
Well, he said it twice, and I do not like eating with Murph because he wants to eat this healthy all the time. He goes to Olive Garden and orders a piece of fish. Who goes to Olive Garden and orders fish?
Even though they had fish.
Exactly. Well,
Murph found it. It's on the secret menu.
He puts a lot of pressure.
He doesn't get the bottomless bowl of pasta?
He has salad, no dressing, and a piece of fish. And that's tough to compete with when you're sitting beside him.
All right, Coach. Well, enjoy the meal tonight. We'll see you there.
Good luck this weekend.
We'll miss your company.
Thank you.
We'll miss your company.
Thanks.
This weekend, Friday, Saturday night, Condors take on Stockton games 1 and 2, and then we head up to Stockton for 3, 4, and hopefully that's all we need. When we come back, Bartle and I will play some over-under. We're going to take what we do on Insider. We're going to bring in Inside Condors Unleashed. And we'll play some over-under with Stephen Gady, and we'll have Lois Henry come on, make some picks for the second round.